And we're live. And we're live. And we're live. And we're live. What's up, folks? We're live. All right, so oh, we had to join in on our tablet. I think I just need the app. It's kind of exciting seeing myself on YouTube. Look at me, I'm on YouTube. All right, let us continue with the hair. Continue with the hair. All right. So if you were on my previous live, you would have seen me having troubles with this. And somehow, some way, we're gonna manifest a new one, you know? Something that actually works for what we got going on. Now, we have our flat iron plugged in. We do have a hair clip. Tell me, have you seen her? Which is weird because I feel like I recently moved things around, but I also recently saw the hair clip. I also don't know what I did with it when I saw it. So, oh, she's in the bag where she should be. We love it. We love it. All right. Thank you for coming in. My name is Kitty Bang Bang. AKA May Alice Catherine Wales. We're kind of just testing on this channel. Mm. Getting into a rhythm, getting into a flow, you know? Oh my god, did I just stab myself in the eye? Okay. We didn't turn nothing on. We didn't turn nothing on. Okay. Mm. Hmm. Okay. They're like, oh my god, why is she digging in her nose? What am I supposed to do is my nose. What I'm supposed to do is my nose. Yeah, I act like I can't wash my hands. Yeah, I act like I don't have a sink. Yeah, I act like there's no water here. You feel me? Like, y'all really need to stop policing motherfuckers. Let motherfuckers live. Let motherfuckers live. Because someone's going to be like, it's unbecoming. You know what's unbecoming? You know what's unbecoming? People who keep the truth inside. People who don't express themselves. People who don't take the time out to reflect on their impact on people's lives. That's what's unbecoming. You know, that's what's unbecoming. Now, here's a great debate, right? Because I took a shower. Should I have done my makeup first and then do my hair? That's always the great debate. Because here's the thing. In my mind, I need my tresses to be in order for me to be able to think about what kind of a face I'm gonna put on. But there do be times where I wish that I had done my makeup first and then done my hair. Cause if I go to get out whatever makeup is up here or whatever, and then I already did my hair, I now run the risk of screwing up my edges, versus we didn't get to that part yet. And then I could just go ahead and, you know, take care of that. And then the realism is that on a level, it don't really matter. Because let's say on day one, I just washed my hair. We about to style it. Da, 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 but I am about to do something that requires me to put it on makeup. Or I just feel like putting it on, you know? Because I'm in my own little fantasy world and I don't have to have a reason. I don't have to have a reason. So, boom. We don't have a reason. We just put on the face. There's going to be times where the hair is already done and we just need to do the face, or vice versa, you know? So that's why I'm saying on a level it don't even really matter because it don't really matter. Now, truth be told, this is not the best situation, but this is what we got for now. All right. Ooh. Now I could go in with a rat tail and do what needs to be done. However, the way my rat tail comb is looking, okay? The way my rat tail comb is looking, we're not gonna even go there. We're not gonna even go there. Speaking of rat tails, there was a little girl on the internet. Her mom or whoever, the adult, posted the video, and I guess her and the little girl got no, not her and the little girl. The little girl got into an argument with a girl at school and was like, the girl called me a rat, so I called her a kangaroo. Oh, what? I don't know why that goes so hard, but it do. I'm like, yo, kangaroo. You called her a kangaroo. I don't know if I think I would be ridiculous as a parent. I don't know if I don't. And the thing is, I didn't get to practice on my nieces and nephews. So my only experience with other people's kids is teaching them in dance in school. And honestly, from that experience, I was just like, you know, I don't want kids of my own. And you know, honestly, if I'm being on a level honest, it wasn't so much about dealing with the kid because I feel like I know how I was as a kid, and I was a motherfucking blessing. You know what I mean? I was an A1 kid. I was the reason why people want to have another kid, and then the other kid coming like, oh shit, I didn't know it was gonna be like this. You were supposed to be a replica of the first one. Like, no, I'm an original. I'm an original. So You know. Mm. Cause that be the reason. That be the reason. You know. That be the reason they have another kid because the first kid was such. You know, I was that kid. You know what I mean? I was that kid. Da, 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 da. But anyways, I wish my train of thought would come back to me because we was going somewhere with that. Right? Then someone in the comments could have been like, "You was talking about this." And I'm like, "Ah, right. Thank you." I mean, but basically, I was talking about I gotta work on what we got. You know what I mean? So even though this flat iron, oh, I was also talking about just the fact that you could do makeup for the sake of that you want to do it, not because you have any reason to do it. Right? Because we're living in our own fantasy world, and you get to create whatever world you want to live in. Oh, because we was talking about do the hair first, makeup first, but doesn't matter, you know, on a level, and putting it out there that we're gonna get the proper tools. I don't think that's a good idea. Oh, wait, that's already still. Basically, I guess for myself, ultimately, I'm trying to figure out what's my motivation, to get up every day and do whatever I want to do. And the sheer fact that I'm able to is motivation enough. You know, the sheer fact that I woke up and I'm like, you know what? I get to do something today. What's my something that I'm going to do today? And sometimes that something is just rest. Just enjoy the fact that I'm in my own space, in my own vibe, amongst my own self, doing my own thing. And I'm happy, you know? And that's why I could say, so and so, get off my page. Because I'm so deeply in my peace and my happiness and my joy, and because I'm protecting it so fiercely, it's easy to spot from a gazillion miles away when a motherfucker is trying to fuck with my shit. And I'm not having it. You know what I find interesting as well is that people who have gotten themselves to a position where they want to be respected because they have boundaries and they want their boundaries to be respected and this, that, and the third, they don't necessarily extend that same energy towards people who haven't established that for themselves. For example, if I have established for myself that I'm not going to give money to people when I'm out on the street. That's not to say I don't donate or support people, this, that, and the third. But if I made a personal choice to say, when I'm out in the street, if I have cash or not, I don't give out money. There has to be some sort of overwhelmingly propelling energy that's like, okay. Spirit has to really yank me, but because spirit and I already have that type of relationship, I get tested and people ask me for money and I'll be like, no, and it's like, move on. And spirit don't press me because we already had this conversation. You feel me? So if I know this about myself and I share this information with somebody else, and let's say they are the type of person that likes to give to people, that's what they do. Okay, that's you, Bookie. If we ever hang out together, there's going to be a test. Someone's going to come up to us while we're together and ask for money. They're going to give, that other person's going to look at me while I'm not giving. And then the person who I'm with is going to be put into one or two positions. Either they're going to respect the fact that I don't do that because her and I, or that person and I, already had that conversation. So they know that I'm also not going to give. So now this is spirit in the flesh. And I'm going to find out if this spirit in the flesh is a supportive spirit in the flesh of my non giving or a non supportive spirit in the flesh of my non giving. And if they are a supportive spirit in the flesh of my non giving, they're not going to pressure me into giving because they already know that that's not what I do. And they're not going to feel propelled to explain to the person who's not getting something from me why I'm not getting. They may give them a look like, you better take what you can get and be grateful. And we're going to keep it pushing because that's really what it is. People are going to read into the situation whatever they need to read to make them feel comfortable about the situation instead of seeing the situation for what it is. That person's just not going to give to me, and I need to be okay with that. If I didn't already put myself out there as an XYZ individual, I wouldn't have to also put up the blinders that go with that so I could deal with the rejection. Let's talk mathematics. Okay. So, so I feel like there's people that's like that in the world, just because that's something that they do, or that's not about, you know what I mean? Or like a better example, let's say I'm at a function. We're at a fundraiser. It's a gala event. Everybody's all dressed up to the nines, this, that, and the third. Okay, this is where we're at. And let's say at this event, you know, I am the performer and I'm approaching the event coordinator because they hired me to perform at their event. And let's say I don't know the depths of the event altogether, but I value myself enough to know that I should be getting paid something. But what, I don't know. And because I'm new and inexperienced in this space, I'm not sure what to charge or whatever, but I charge something. Then when I see, how the event is going, this and the third, I realize I played myself because I could have charged more. But mind you, it was a donation based event. I don't charge. So it wasn't really even a charge. It was just like, oh, I'm going to just do this on a donation. You just donate to my organization and I'll come through. So when I see the type of people that's coming through and the type of things that's coming through and versus what I came through, I'm just like, okay, maybe I should have charged. Because then I would have been guaranteed an extra dollar amount versus doing a donation. But the way my organization is set up, I have to do the donations. You know what I'm saying? Because we're that type of organization. And so now I'm in a position to where they took advantage of the fact that I'm this type of an organization. There's no real set amount, and knowing that they could get X amount of quality for basically at name your own price. rather than be respectful, they took advantage. These are the same type of people who will come onto your page and just give you thumbs up on every single post you ever put. Never a heart, never a wow, never a angry. Like, there's no emotional change. It's just thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Why are you here? You know, these are the same type of people who took advantage of the fact that, you're the type of person that is willing to listen to people as they're going through stuff. But when it's time for you to share things that you're going through and you need a listening ear, all of a sudden everybody is so busy. All of a sudden nobody has time. All of a sudden everyone has all these obligations and they don't have 5 minutes for you. Oh, okay. You know, and it's important for you to know that you are valuable. Your time is valuable. The fact that you can hold space for someone and listen to them is valuable. It's like free therapy. The amount of times that people pull up on you and treat you that way, and there's no type of exchange. They didn't even buy you lunch. They didn't take you out. They didn't, you know what I mean? There has to be some sort of energy exchange. And that's what I'm saying. Do not let these people dump on you information and you get nothing out of the deal. And like I said, had I known about even what boundaries were back then, I would have been like, all right. And of course, then I'm just like, oh, you're my cousin, da 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 da. Because I'm thinking I get to pull the cousin card too. Oh, I'm your cousin. I'm going through a situation. Please help me. Oh, no. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. So, you know, I have a lot to celebrate. Honestly, there's a lot for me to be proud of about myself over these past few years. I have pulled myself out of losing my first business that I was running, pulled myself out of eviction, pulled myself out of being in a fire, pulled myself out of homelessness, pull myself out of divorce, pull myself out of a domestic violence relationship, pull myself out of educational institutions that have treated me unfairly and have molested me and taken advantage of me financially, emotionally, spiritually, and educationally, academically. To pull myself out of social media groups, spaces that even through even through the journey of healing was still jealous of me and still envious of me, even though they were supposed to be a space of healing and a safe space to grow and a safe space to experience my true authentic self. And I don't hold it against them. I don't know that they actually know what that means or know how to hold space for people who need that. Because if you're trying to be something, if you're working towards being something, you haven't become it yet. So in your becoming, there's bound to be mistakes. And sometimes motherfuckers ain't got time for mistakes. And they don't want to be a beta tester. They just want to be a part of the project when it's finished. Now we would have been done with this if we had, when you have the proper tools, when you have the proper tools. And I don't know what type of setting I need to put this on next time, but let me see if I can figure it out. Okay, that's not what we're looking for. Okay, we're gonna have to play with this because I'm trying to see if there's a way for me to. Which means I don't have access to this feature. I'm trying to figure out how to flip the camera so that it's actually mirroring me versus because this is annoying. I'm so happy for these kids that are growing up with parents who are loving and kind and actually want them in their lives, who have prepared a space for them and is actively doing whatever it is that they need to do or want to do in order to make sure that their kids experience joy and happiness. It's unfortunate that some of these kids don't are not going to be able to appreciate what it is that their parents are giving them because they didn't grow up without it. Like they didn't grow up in a space where they didn't experience that. All they're gonna know is love. All they're gonna know is support. All they're gonna know is my peoples is always gonna be there for me. That's all they're gonna know. You know, unless something really ridiculous happens, they're never gonna know what it's like for somebody, whether it's mommy or daddy or auntie or cousin or whoever, somebody is been to pull up. And the fact that it's somebody, the fact that it could be anybody, the fact that they have a list of people to choose from, you know, I don't know that if I had a family, I I think on some levels I would be okay. I don't know. I don't know. I think it would be hard for me to have a family if I'm being honest with you. Because I know I would be giving my family the type of family that I never had. And I wouldn't necessarily be expecting the children to appreciate me in the way that I would need to be appreciated. But I would definitely need a partner who would have to understand all those tiny nuances about my life. Because there are going to be times when I'm sure the kids are just going to be being kids. And because they have no idea about whatever it is that I went through in my previous life, they're going to say something or do something or whatever. And it's going to cut me to the core. And I'm going to be like, okay, here is where I'm going to put this down. I'm going to walk away, because the way I want to really handle this situation is not the way that I'm going to handle the situation. And whoever is my partner at the time, if they're not physically around in that moment, I need to be able to call them and be like, come now. And when they hear me talk like that, they know some serious shit went down. Whatever the fuck they're doing, they better stop what the fuck they're doing and come now. And I do mean now. Do you know you have 30 minutes? Do you know you have 30 fucking minutes? you know? And then after the dust has settled, there's going to be a conversation. And it's going to be in that moment where I'm going to decide if that's going to be a truth about my life I'm going to want to share with that individual in that moment, or if I'm going to want to say something so that their spirit understands what I just went through, if they care to know. You know what? That's what it's going to be. You don't necessarily have to care to know. But that's one of the things I'm them. Okay, if I ever did have kids, they would know. Listen, your mother went through some shit before she had you, and some of the things that I have went through have caused me to have mental health issues. That's not your issue, but you do gotta live with me. So I'd rather you know than not know. And either you're gonna support me through whatever the fuck it is I went through, or you're not. And I'm gonna let you know right now. Just because you are my child does not mean that I'm gonna have you around me as an individual that doesn't support my well-being. So if you find that you cannot, if I find that how the way you are doesn't contribute to my well-being, I will make other living arrangements for you. I will make sure you're taken care of. You know what I mean? I will do all the things that a mother has to do. But what I'm not going to do is allow how you are to affect me, because I can't. And we're both gonna have to deal with the fact that you don't understand. This is the way I have to teach you. But mommy, no, but mommy, no, but mommy, no. You know, you're not understanding. You're not understanding. I'm not asking you to behave just so you could please me and da 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 da. No, that's not what it is at all. You're going to be a kid. You're going to be yourself. I'm saying go be yourself, just not around me. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do I gotta be around you? I don't like you. You know, I think there would be times that I would like the things that they would do, but I don't know if I would. I don't know. I don't know. They don't even exist. How would I know if I would like the children? You know, that's like meeting someone for the first time and being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna. You don't really know. I mean, maybe you do. Maybe your intuition is that on point. I guess what I'm saying is that if I ever were to have a kid, it would be some special kind of kid. Because who the fuck wouldn't trust me with a child? Not to say that I can't be trusted with a child, but what I'm saying is like my life is so nonchalant, cavalier. You know what I mean? Like I like it this way. I like it this way. And on one hand, I'm like, shit, should I just go ahead and have me a baby? Have me my little German baby. How the fuck would I even get pregnant? That shit is crazy. Cause IVF is expensive. So ain't nobody got no money for that. And then what? Then I gotta have a baby daddy? That don't even make no sense. I'm not doing that. And then so what? I gotta marry a man? I don't know. If it was strictly a marriage for money, like I'm just marrying for money and I gotta get somebody an heir, this that, and the third. I don't know if I would do that. Because that would not be fair. Look, there's a hood girl in me like, bitch, I'd rather be an heir than have grown up in the hood. I hear you, girl. I hear you, girl. It would just on a level, it would just have to be for the shits and giggles of it. Like there's a part of me that would have to turn off my brain and just say, we're just gonna go with the flow and see what happens. You know, we're not gonna have no label about ourselves. We're not gonna give a fuck who wants to have a conversation with us, we're just going to be open to the world of possibilities, you know? And with the level of discernment, we're going to say yes to whomever comes our way, you know? And not for nothing, but I just happen to know a lot of other women who are also looking for men. So since I know a lot of women who are looking for men, and since I'm good at attracting men who I care nothing about, maybe what I should be doing is having some sort of mixer where I can gather the men and the women together in some sort of club like setting, but with the intention of, people getting together for whatever they want to do after that. I could host I could host speed nights. You know what I'm saying? And I could come at it from from the perspective of, listen, I still like girls, but I have a lot of friends who like men, and they've been crying about the fact that they can't find no men's. So since I'm tired of hearing them cry, and I don't want them in my community, because let's be fucking for real. If you like men, you like men. So continue to like the men. Just let's get you a better man. You know what I'm saying? Let's get you a better man. There's gotta be somebody out there. I mean, somebody. Do they all fucking suck? Do all the men suck? Do all the men suck? I mean, because not for nothing, but it's already slim pickings over here for the girls. So what I don't need, okay, I don't need no competition from the straight girlies. I don't need no competition from the straight girlies, because what ends up happening is the straight girlies come on over here, and you're like a rainbow girl's fantasy. You're still actually a woman about your shit. You're not. To me, the whole point of being a girl that likes girls is because you're feminine. You know, like that's, to me, that's what the attraction is. I'm attracted to the femininity in a woman, but if she knows how to balance out her masculinity and her femininity, like, girl, shut the front door. But I need both. You feel me? So I never understood, because to me, it's like if I wanted to be with a woman that was so masculine that they're mistaken for a man when we go out in public or just in general, not even we have to be together, like just by themselves, that's not the kind of woman that I want to be with. I want to be clear she's a woman. We should be questioning what her sexuality is. We don't know if she likes men or women, you know, but clearly she's a girl. Clearly she's a woman. Clearly we can tell. You know what I'm saying? And no, when you're dressed like a stud, I mean, if you're dressed like a very masculine individual, no, it's not clear. It's not clear. That's why they have on the bathroom signs skirts and pants. This is skirts and pants. Why is the bathroom sign skirts and pants then? Because at that point, I don't really think it's about even being political. It's not about trying to demean someone or judge them or this, that, and the third. But it really is about, okay, let's be practical. If I'm looking for a way to identify a situation and quickly, how do we do that? And if you can't give me a solution, then I'm going to come up with one. But let's be fucking for real. Let's be fucking for real. How do you know something is something unless you label it something? Unless you identify it as something. This is just crazy. This is just hairs getting caught in hairs. So what was the point of that? You know? So at the end of the day, I guess it is still me being selfish and being like, listen, if I could get these women out of my community that don't really belong here. I mean, because let's really talk about it. 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 Let's say we have a world of rainbow, a rainbow world, right? In the rainbow world, there are different ways love can be expressed because it's a rainbow. So you have all these different colors, all these different flavors, all these different ways. But at some point, you as an individual have made a decision that you are what you are. And because you've made a decision on what you are, you now know what you want to connect with for certain types of things. Let's say you're a yellow, but you want to get with a red to make an orange for a business transaction. But maybe for a friendship transaction, you want to get with a blue and make a green. Let's say to build a home, you want to get with a purple to make a brown. Like, and all the variations in that. You get the concept. The point of the matter is, you're in a world of color. choosing what you want to connect with in order to make another color. Maybe you're an individual that can be all of the colors, whether you connect with anybody or not. Either way, at some point you make a decision and you say, I want to live in this neighborhood on this part of the rainbow amongst these colors doing these things. And in order for that to happen, some sort of definition, some sort of decision had to be made. Whether or not you get to be a part of the rainbow world may not have been your decision, but now that you're here, it's like, can you please figure out where you need to be? Because some of us have already figured out where we want to be and where we need to be. And because you're still trying to figure it out, you're fucking it up. You're like the bitch that's coming to the club for the first time, but acting like you've been here for forever. So no one's going to treat you like you've been here for the first time because you're acting like you've been here for forever. But we know that you've never been here before because we have been here for forever. And we ain't never seen you. We ain't never seen you. So you're not fooling nobody. That's number one. You didn't fool anybody into believing that you've been here the whole time. Number two, we know exactly why you're here. We saw you coming. You know? And this is why there really does need to be a portal. Do you really belong here or do you need to just work out what you got going on in your world? Because what you're not going to do is come over here to a world that we're this our world and you don't belong here. If you don't belong here, there's no reason for you to be here, no matter what we got going on over here. We got enough going on over here without your BS. We don't need your BS. You know, keep your BS over there. Cause that's the thing. Y'all be trying to come over here and be like, oh, it's free. I get to do whatever I want. I'm like, freedom still comes with responsibility. So this idea that there's not going to be any responsibility in a world of freedom is preposterous. See, I don't even understand what happened because we was just using it, right? We was just using it. All of a sudden, the quality of the flat ironing went down. Then she just shut off. That's that Remington for you. But we are grateful. All right, let us press. Cause like we're almost done, you know. Somehow we made it through. Somehow we made it through. I do want to get this little piece right here. Uh huh. Yeah. All right. You know. You see, the thing is, I think the type of dude that I would want to be around is the type of dude that I know I could abuse, but is not gonna hit me back. But gonna have an attitude. But then I'm not gonna respect them. And then I'm gonna have an attitude because I want to be able to respect the people that you know what I mean. So it's like, will it even be fun? Because I don't take enjoyment in beating you up. Like that's not fun for me. You know, it would only be fun for me if it was someone that do I respect them? I don't know. Basically, someone who can give me like lavender marriage type vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, see, this is why I need a mirror right here so I can see what I'm doing and not get tripped out by the camera. See, usually I use the camera as a mirror, but this camera is not in the direction that I need it to be, which I'm thinking. See, right now I'm filming with the internal camera. I think if I was to film with my live stream software, I would be able to flip the camera to be how I want it to be because then I would be able to control those settings from within. But YouTube is not allowing me to control my webcam settings from within the app, which don't make no sense. So now I'm forced to give you this view. Mm. Mm. All right. And that's that. Somebody like, she ain't using no heat protectant. She ain't put nothing on her hair. Nope. This is what we call, this is just washed. I washed it. I watered it. And that's that. Now, if I'm being honest, I don't like my hair to be weighed down with a whole bunch of products. So this is nothing in the hair. Now, does it need moisture? Absolutely. And would I have better results if I had better tools? Absolutely. Imagine if I would have had a comb on that Conair, okay? And imagine if that flat iron was really flat ironing. But sometimes you got to work with what you got. So this is what we got, and we're gonna work with it. Now, I can't just go ahead and put this in a ponytail, you know, because now what are we gonna do with it? I could curl it. But if I'm being honest, I don't want to. But she can give some sort of something. So what I normally would do in this situation is if I don't feel like busting out my curler is we're gonna top knot it. So here's where it gets. I don't make a ponytail. We just we just wrap it. But gotta tuck them bottom hairs. Then I like to use a loose. Mm-hmm. So you know how you have those broken hair elastics? The one that be the elastic is still there, but it popped. You know what I mean? Now you got that fabric piece. That one. Use that one first, actually, to hold it in place. Then you use a tight one to get it like, okay, boom, we together. Boom. Now you're gonna brush all that up. Make sure them hairs is going in the same direction. This would have been a better, smoother job had we had a, you know what I'm saying? I could feel it right here. And that's because I got a little lazy on that side. I was just like, fuck it, fuck it. I didn't party and go through. But we can. That's also too because she was conking out on me. You see, we gotta work together. We need to stay hot. Boom. Now this is what I actually like to wear my scarf. Not at night because I feel like it's too much on my head and I just want my head to just relax. But sometimes it's necessary. But during the daytime when the hair is what I like to call cooked, I feel like the hair is what do I call this? I guess in the pan. You feel me? The hair is in the pan. Now we gotta cook. We about to put the hair in the oven. Not too tight because you don't want no dents. And then boom. That's our situation. And then what time is it? It's 12 o'clock. 12:14. 2.5 hours to do our hair, and it's still not technically done. It still gotta work, babe. But in the meantime, we're gonna put away our. This is why I like to do my makeup after. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, okay, while my hair is doing what it needs to do, boom, let's do the makeup. But then this be the issue, the scarf situation, right? Only if I go deep with the foundation, but if I'm just doing the eyes and shit, we ain't got no problem. So I guess come back for part 3 and we're gonna do our makeup. Love you.